Let me ask you something honest. How much of your workday is actually thinking, and how much of it is just doing the same repetitive things over and over again? Most people, if they are really honest with themselves, spend somewhere between 2 and 4 hours every single day on tasks that are completely automatable. Responding to emails that follow the same structure every single time. Summarizing documents they barely have time to actually read. Writing status updates that take 30 minutes to compose. Preparing meeting notes at the end of a long call when their brain is already exhausted. Researching topics they have already looked up a dozen times before in slightly different forms. That wasted time adds up to roughly 1 full workday every week. Not because people are lazy or unproductive. Because nobody ever showed them a better system. Today I am going to change that for you. I am going to walk you through a complete step-by-step system for automating your workday using ChatGPT in 2026. Not in theory. In practice. Real workflows you can set up today and start using tomorrow morning. By the end of this video you are going to have a daily automation routine that saves you at least 90 minutes every single day. That is 7.5 hours a week. Over a full year, that is more than 300 hours of your life back. Think carefully about what that actually means. 300 hours you could spend on deeper work, on learning, on the projects that actually move your career forward, or simply on having a life outside of catching up on tasks. Let me start with the most important concept, because without this, everything else falls apart. Most people use ChatGPT like a smarter search engine. They type a question, get an answer, and move on. That is not automation. That is just a slightly faster way to look something up. The way to actually automate your work is to build what I call a prompt library. A set of ready-made instructions that you use repeatedly for the same types of tasks, week after week. Instead of thinking about how to phrase your request every single time, you open your library, paste in your template, fill in the variable parts specific to this task, and you are done in seconds. Think of it like having professional templates for every kind of work you do. Except instead of static documents you still have to fill out, each template activates an AI that produces a fully customized, ready-to-use output instantly. Once you internalize this concept, the way you think about AI tools changes permanently. The best place to store your prompt library is Notion. Create a simple database with one entry per prompt, tagged by category. Email, meetings, writing, research, decisions. You will build this library gradually over time and it will become one of the most valuable things on your computer. The first workflow is email management, and it is the one that will save you the most time immediately. The average knowledge worker in 2026 spends close to 2 hours a day on email. With the right ChatGPT prompts you can cut that down to under 30 minutes. Here is the core prompt template. Read this email and write a professional reply that acknowledges the main point, provides a clear answer, and closes with a concrete next step. Keep the tone friendly but direct and keep the reply under 150 words. Here's the email. Then you paste in whatever you received. ChatGPT reads the full context, understands what is being asked, and drafts a reply you can review and send in under a minute. You are no longer writing emails from scratch. You are reviewing and approving them. That shift alone cuts your email time in half. Take it further by building category-specific templates. For client check-ins, for partnership requests, for meeting confirmations, for follow-ups after calls, for declining requests politely. You end up with 8 to 12 templates that cover the vast majority of your inbox. Your email time drops from 2 hours to under 30 minutes every single day without sacrificing quality or professionalism. The second workflow is meeting preparation and follow-ups. Most professionals spend very little time preparing for meetings and a lot of time recovering from unproductive ones. This prompt fixes both sides of that problem. Before any important meeting, use this. I have a meeting with this person about this topic. The goal of the meeting is this specific outcome. Give me 5 smart questions I should ask to move toward that goal, 3 potential objections or pushbacks I should be ready for, and a 1-paragraph summary of the key points I want to communicate clearly. Keep it sharp and practical. That entire preparation takes under a minute. You walk into every meeting more focused and better prepared than the majority of people in the room. After the meeting, you paste your rough notes, even if they are completely disorganized, and you use this prompt. These are my rough notes from a meeting. Turn them into a clean summary with 3 sections: key decisions made, action items with owners and deadlines, and open questions that still need to be resolved before we can move forward. What used to take 20 to 30 minutes of post-meeting writing now takes 2 minutes of reviewing and sending. Over the course of a week with multiple meetings, that recovery adds up to a significant amount of reclaimed time. The third workflow is content and communication production. If your work involves any kind of writing, and most professional work does, the key to using ChatGPT effectively is building what I call a voice prompt. This is a one-time setup that trains ChatGPT to write in your specific tone and style rather than in a generic AI tone. Here is how to build yours today. Find 3 to 5 examples of your own writing, emails, documents, anything you have written that sounds like you at your best. Paste them all into ChatGPT and say, analyze the tone, vocabulary, sentence length, and communication style of these examples. Then write a short paragraph describing my writing voice that I can paste as context whenever I ask you to write something for me. ChatGPT gives you a voice description. You save it in your prompt library. From that point forward, every writing task starts with, write in this voice, followed by your description. The output begins to sound genuinely like you. Not a robot producing corporate language. You. Now let me walk you through the complete daily routine so you can see how everything connects as an actual system you can follow. Morning, about 7 minutes total. You open ChatGPT and paste this planning prompt. Here are my tasks and commitments for today. Prioritize them by impact and urgency. Identify the single most important thing I absolutely must complete today. Flag anything that could be delegated to someone else or cut entirely without real consequences. Then paste your task list. You start every day with complete clarity on what actually matters instead of opening your inbox and letting other people's priorities immediately take over your entire morning. Mid-morning, your focused email block. Set a hard time limit of 25 to 30 minutes and do not break it. Work through your inbox using your saved email templates. Every non-trivial reply goes through ChatGPT first. You review, adjust if needed, and send. After the block, you close your email entirely and do not return until the afternoon. Breaking the habit of constant inbox monitoring is one of the highest leverage behavioral changes most knowledge workers can make, and having a fast, reliable system for processing email makes it sustainable for the first time. Midday, your deep work and content production block. If you need to write anything substantial today, a proposal, a report, a presentation, a client brief, a project plan, this is when you produce it. The rule is absolute. Never start a writing task from a blank page again. Always start with a ChatGPT draft using your voice prompt. Even if you end up rewriting a large portion of it, starting with a structured draft on the page is significantly faster than staring at an empty document. The editing process is consistently faster than the drafting process. Let ChatGPT handle the drafting and you handle the judgment and refinement. Afternoon, meeting prep and follow-ups using the templates from earlier. 5 minutes before each meeting to generate your preparation brief. 5 minutes after to convert rough notes into a clean shareable summary. both from your saved prompt library, taking seconds to set up. End of day, 5 minutes maximum. You paste notes from the day and use this closing prompt. Based on what I accomplished today and what is still open, identify my top 3 priorities for tomorrow morning in order of importance. Flag anything I should delegate, automate, or remove from my list entirely. This closes your day with intention and gives your subconscious something concrete to work with overnight. You stop carrying tomorrow's mental load through your evening. Total time actively using ChatGPT across the full workday. Roughly 40 to 50 minutes. Time saved compared to doing all of that work manually. 2 to 3 hours minimum. Every single day. That math compounds significantly over weeks and months. Here is one more advanced prompt worth having in your library. When you need to compress a long document into something actionable fast, paste the full text and say, "Summarize this in 3 sections. The 3 most important insights I need to take away. Any specific data or statistics worth keeping. One concrete action I could take based on this content." A 40-minute read becomes a focused 3-minute brief without losing what matters. Here is the bottom line on all of this. ChatGPT does not replace your judgment, your relationships, or your ability to think strategically. What it removes is the friction between your thinking and its execution. It handles the repetitive cognitive load so your brain stays available for the work that actually requires you specifically. Pick one workflow from everything I covered today. Just one. Set it up tonight. Use it tomorrow morning. That single habit will save you more time in 1 week than most productivity books or courses deliver in a year. Subscribe for more practical systems like this every week. See you in the next one.